It's easy to judge others when it comes to sexual interests, but what if you stopped critiquing and started getting curious? Hello and welcome back to my channel. As always, I am Matt from Cleveland Sex Therapy. I'm a licensed clinical therapist and AASECT certified sex therapist. Before we dive in today, if you like sex positive, radical, informative, and research driven content, hit subscribe. My goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers, and we are getting closer and closer with every single video. Today, I am continuing with my new series, All on Kink. These videos are going to be centered on all things kink related, so whether this is a completely new topic to you or you are a skilled veteran, my hope is that you will find this information helpful and affirming. With that, we are talking about a key component to all kink, not yucking someone else's yum. The phrase is pretty simple. If someone is enjoying something consensually, safely, and ethically, you do not have to like it, but you also don't have to shame it. One of the things I love about being a sex therapist is getting to see how diverse human sexuality really is. There are people who love role playing. There are people who enjoy power exchanges. There are people who get excited about feet, leather, spanking, pet play. Ooh, maybe I'll do a video on pet play a little bit later. Being tied up, being the one doing the tying, and about 1,000 of other things that are out there. Human sexuality is so wonderfully weird. The problem is that many of us were taught that there is a right way to be sexual and a wrong way to be sexual. We grow up hearing messages about what is normal, what is acceptable, and what is too much. Then, when we encounter something outside of our own experience, our first reaction is often judgment. You hear someone talk about a kink and immediately think, why would anyone want that? Or maybe, that's pretty strange. Or even, there must be something wrong with that person. The reality is that most people are not trying to understand the kink. They are comparing it to what they personally enjoy. That is where we get stuck. Imagine if we did this with food. Someone tells you they love mushrooms, and you respond by saying, "Ew, that's disgusting. What's wrong with you?" Most of us would recognize that as rude. Instead, we simply acknowledge that difference and that people are just different and enjoy different things. Sexuality is not that much different. Part of why judgment happens is because of fear. When we encounter something unfamiliar, our brain often becomes cautious. It's a safety mechanism. Another piece is shame. Many of us have unresolved shame about our own sexuality. So when we see someone freely embracing theirs, it can make us uncomfortable. Sometimes judgment is also about values. We assume that because something is not for us, it should not be for anybody else. Research on sexual diversity consistently shows that people have a wide range of erotic interests and fantasies. Most fantasies never become behaviors, and even when they do, many occur within healthy consensual relationships. What matters most is not whether a kink is common. What matters is whether it is consensual and negotiated and safe for the people involved. This becomes especially important when the person sharing that interest is your partner. Let's say your partner comes to you and says that they are curious about a kink that you have never heard of. Maybe your immediate reaction is confusion. Maybe it's anxiety. Maybe it's even judgment. Before reacting, take a breath. Your partner sharing a fantasy is not the same thing as demanding you participate in it. One of the biggest mistakes couples make is treating disclosure like a request. Someone says, I think this interests me. And their partner immediately jumps to, oh my God, now I have to do this? Not necessarily. A fantasy can simply be information. It can be opportunity to learn more about your partner. Instead of responding with judgment, try curiosity. Ask questions like, what do you enjoy about that? What does it do for you emotionally? What about that feels exciting? You might discover that the kink itself is not really the point. Maybe what your partner enjoys is feeling desired. Maybe they enjoy surrendering control. Maybe they enjoy novelty. Hell, maybe they just enjoy wanting and feeling playful. The deeper meaning is much more important than the activity itself. Now, let's be clear. Being sex positive does not mean you have to like everything. It does not mean you have to participate in everything. It does not mean that every kink is suddenly going to become this huge part of your life or your relationship. You are allowed to have boundaries, and you are allowed to say no. Hell, you are allowed to decide that something is not for you. That is sex positivity. The goal is not agreement. The goal is respect. You can say, I appreciate you trusting me enough to share that. It is not something I am interested in, but I am glad you felt so comfortable talking to me about it. That response builds connection. Shame and ridicule, man, that destroys it. One of the greatest gifts we can give our partners is creating a relationship where they do not have to hide parts of themselves. That does not mean you will always understand every fantasy, desire, or kink. It does mean we can approach those conversations with curiosity instead of criticism. You do not have to share someone's yum. You do not even have to understand someone's yum. Just, try not to yuck it. That's all I got for you today. If you have experiencing yucking someone's yum that was confusing for you, please share it in the comments. I'd love to know because I've been in that space as well. And always subscribe for more sex positive content if you want it in your life. Until next time.